Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Capril. I want to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency, gold, silver, all these alternatives that you see out there that a lot of them spend a lot of money uh, publicizing themselves to try to convince you that they are a good idea. All right. So I've talked about these things before, but I just think it's worth mentioning. Crypto right now is on a decline, and gold is on an up. So let's kind of just get into it just a little bit here. All right. So first of all, let's talk about crypto. The easiest way I think to think of cryptocurrency is it's an asset like everything else. You buy it, and if somebody else wants it, you sell it to them. If more people want it than currently have it, price goes up. If less people want it, price goes down. Very simple. I don't really think of it as currency. Currency to me is a representation of your wealth, and that's something that's issued by governments. I think a better way to really look at it is it's an asset. Now, as an asset, it's a little questionable when you compare it to other assets. So for example, if you owned a company stock, let's use Cincinnati's favorite, Procter & Gamble. If you own a piece of Procter & Gamble, well, you get dividends. You actually own a part of the company. So things like the equipment, the many patents that they have, the intellectual property, you get all that. That's part of ownership. If you own crypto, you don't have any of that. There is nothing tangible associated with it at all. So I don't really think of this as you really want to view this more as an asset. Why? Well, because ultimately you got to convert it to cash in most cases to buy anything anyway. Now, there are companies out there who at times will take crypto instead of dollars. That is going to be interesting to see how that plays out long term, especially if the IRS feels that there are transactions going on that they can't track. But nonetheless, it is an asset. It's a dubious one because it's an electronic file that's only worth something because other people say it's worth something. Think of it more like art. Art's probably the best example. All right. You probably know the story of Van Gogh. Could not sell a painting at all in his life. I think he sold one to a relative. That's it. Now, if you own Starry Night, I don't know what it's worth. $10 million. Who knows? I have no idea what Starry is worth. Don't even know who owns it. Sure, it's in a gallery somewhere in the Netherlands, I guess. I don't know. But it's really just an old painting. I mean, if you came from another planet, would you be interested in buying it for 10 million, whatever? No, of course not. So it's worth that because people want it more. But that could change tomorrow. If we suddenly discovered that Starry Night was, I don't know, a forgery or whatever, the value could go down considerably. And like a painting that could get destroyed, your Bitcoin file could get lost. So I want you to think of it more like an asset. Now, as an asset, it's incredibly volatile, incredibly so. So when you are comparing it to other investments, you have to ask yourself this important question. Can I get the same return with less volatility? The problem with Bitcoin is it's only been around since 2009, and other forms of cryptocurrency even less. So here's my advice. If you really want to own this stuff, fine. Don't put a lot of your money in it. I was noticing the other day, my grocery store, I can buy crypto by bringing in my coins. You know, the coins that, you gather from buying, at the end of the day, I drop it all in a jar. Bring it to the machine, Coinstar machine, it counts it up, and then it'll give you crypto instead of cash or whatever. All right. It's a very non-threatening way to do it if you really feel compelled to do it that way. But there's a lot of things wrong with that asset class. Not saying you can't make money. I am suggesting, though, that there are alternative ways that are a little bit more consistent. China's already outlawed cryptocurrency. I wouldn't be surprised to see other governments do it as well if they felt that there was a lot of trading going on that they can't track for tax purposes. All right. So think of it that way. Now, let's talk about the others, gold and silver. They get as much publicity as crypto does. And right now they're doing well. Why? Well, because the economy stinks. And when the economy stinks, gold and silver rise. It's kind of a contrarian type thing. When I look at long-term results, though, of gold and silver, not that great, like 6%. There are no dividends that get paid. There is no intellectual property. You could own a percentage of it if you wanted to, but just understand, most people, the true gold bugs that I see out there, they're into it because they have this belief that the world as we know it is going to fall apart in their lifetime. Someday the world as we know it will change. Okay. I mean, it's just the history of man. But to believe that it's so bad that the only way that the dollar will be absolutely worthless, I can't predict the future. I would just suggest that that's not the logical likelihood, not within your lifetime. Now, a war where we lose on U.S. shore, that could change things. Likely to happen? No. Not only are we so more advanced technologically than the rest of the world, and just look at the trouble Russia's having trying to defeat Ukraine. I mean, that would literally be like us trying to defeat Quebec. I think we could do it quickly. No offense to all you Quebecois out there. We don't want to invade you. Don't worry about it. I do love your I don't know, province. I know you want it to be a country, but I love your province. So, and we have geography to our advantage. So to that extent, I don't see that happening. You want to own a little bit of it? Go ahead. But just understand, again, very volatile. The whole idea about building your portfolio is to try to build it in the most consistent manner. Can't do it in a linear fashion, but we can minimize some of the volatility. So give that some thought. If you have questions about any of that, please, that's what I'm here for, people. Give me a call. Love to talk to you about it. Take care.